ring the bell for notifications and get ready for a perfectly delightful adventure. Alright guys, day one with Muffin, and let me tell you, this little furball is full of surprises. The first thing I realized is that every kitten is unique, just like you and me. So before we even thought about training, we needed to become best buddies. I spent the entire day just observing Muffin, trying to understand her little quirks and habits. It was like learning a whole new language, the language of Muffin. When she meowed, I tried to figure out what she was saying. Was she hungry, sleepy, or just feeling chatty? Muffin, being the adorable fluffball she is, loves to nap. I mean, who doesn't love a good nap, right? But figuring out her favorite napping spots became a fun game. We had the classic sunbeam nap, the behind the curtains nap, and my personal favorite, the snuggle on the laptop while I'm trying to work nap. And speaking of work, Muffin quickly learned that the sound of keyboard clicks means playtime. She'd come bouncing over, batting at the keys, trying to catch the words on the screen. It made getting anything done a bit of a challenge, but hey, who can resist those big, curious eyes? Toys? Oh boy, toys are a whole other story. Muffin loves anything that moves, feathers, string, crinkly balls, you name it, she's all over it. We spent hours playing, her tiny paws batting and pouncing with lightning speed. It's amazing how much energy such a small creature has. But it wasn't all fun and games. There were a few accidents along the way, a little oops on the rug, a toppled over plant, sorry Mr. Whiskers, the usual kitten shenanigans. But hey, that's all part of the learning process, right? By the end of day one, I was exhausted, but exhilarated. Getting to know Muffin was like discovering a whole new world of cuteness and chaos. And I knew that the next 7 days were going to be an incredible journey of bonding, learning, and lots of laughter. Day 2 of Muffin's training diary, and guess what we tackled? The art of mealtime. Now you might think, Qais feeding a kitten? Piece of cake. Well, my friends, you'd be surprised. Muffin, with her boundless energy and even bigger appetite, had her own ideas about when and how she wanted to eat. First things first, we needed a schedule. Kittens thrive on routine, and Muffin was no exception. So we decided on 3 meals a day, just like a proper little feline queen. Breakfast was a bright and early affair, usually accompanied by a chorus of demanding meows. Lunch was a more relaxed affair, often enjoyed between naps and play sessions. And dinner? Well, dinner was a grand feast, a celebration of all things delicious and kitten-approved. But deciding on a schedule was the easy part. The real challenge was getting Muffin to stick to it. This little furball had a knack for demanding snacks at the most inconvenient times. Trying to work, meow. Enjoying a quiet cup of coffee, meow. Fast asleep at 3 a.m., you guessed it, meow. It took a lot of patience and a whole lot of willpower not to give in to those adorable little meows. But consistency is key, my friends, and eventually, Muffin started to understand that mealtime meant mealtime and not a minute sooner. Now let's talk about food. Oh boy, the world of kitten food is a vast and confusing one. Wet food, dry food, raw food, homemade food, the options are endless. After much research and a few hesitant sniffs from Muffin, we settled on a combination of high-quality dry kibble and a little bit of wet food for added moisture and flavor. And let me tell you, this little kitten loves her food. Watching her gobble down her meals is a sight to behold. She attacks her bowl with such gusto, tiny tongue working overtime, that it's impossible not to laugh. But it wasn't all smooth sailing in the food department. Muffin, being the curious little explorer she is, decided that the food in my bowl looked far more interesting than the food in her bowl. Cue the stealthy attempts to steal bites of my breakfast, the innocent I wasn't doing anything look on her face when I caught her red pawed. By the end of day 2, we had established a solid feeding routine and discovered Muffin's favorite foods. Sure, there were a few bumps along the way, but that's all part of the fun, right? After all, who can resist a kitten who thinks she's a master thief of human food? Chapter 3, Day 3, Unleashing the Furry Tornado. Hold on to your hats, guys, because Day 3 was all about unleashing Muffin's inner party animal. This little kitten has energy levels that would put a Duracell bunny to shame. Seriously, she's like a tiny furry tornado whirling through the house with boundless enthusiasm. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, and trust me, we had no choice, was to channel all that energy into productive and, most importantly, fun playtime. Now, Muffin's idea of a good time involves anything that moves, and I mean anything, from feathers to shoelaces, dust bunnies to, well, my own feet if it twitched, Muffin was on it. We started with the classics, the tried and true toys that have been entertaining felines for centuries. Feathers on a string, instant hit. Muffin stalked, chased, and pounced on that feather like it was the most fascinating thing she'd ever seen. Crinkly balls? Oh boy, the sound alone was enough to send her into a frenzy of batting and rolling. But Muffin, being the independent little spirit she is, quickly grew tired of the same old toys. She craved novelty, excitement, something to challenge her tiny brain and test her lightning-fast reflexes. So, we had to get creative. Enter the laser pointer, the ultimate weapon in the battle against kitten boredom. Now I know what you're thinking, Qais. Isn't that a bit mean, teasing her with something she can never catch? And to that, I say, have you seen this kitten's focus? The way her eyes follow that little red dot with laser-like intensity? It's like watching a tiny predator stalking its prey. We had epic chases across the living room floor, daring leaps from furniture to furniture, and moments of pure, unadulterated joy as Muffin slid across the floor, desperately trying to catch that elusive red dot. But it wasn't all high-energy chases and laser pointer shenanigans. Muffin, like any true cat, also appreciates the finer things in life, like a good old-fashioned cardboard box. Yep, you heard that right, a simple cardboard box provided hours of entertainment. She'd jump in and out of it, bat at imaginary foes hiding inside, and even attempt to squeeze her entire body into a box clearly too small for her. It was a reminder that sometimes the simplest things are the most enjoyable. By the end of day 3, we were both exhausted but happy. Muffin had successfully worn herself out, and I had rediscovered the joy of playing like a kid again. It was a win-win situation. And there you have it, guys. Day 3 of Muffin's kitten training journey. We've tackled feeding schedules, explored the world of kitten toys, and unleashed a furry tornado of energy upon my poor apartment. But through it all, one thing's for sure. Muffin is the most adorable, entertaining, and loving little companion a cat-loving cartoonist could ask for. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment of Muffin's journey. Until next time, stay pawsome. Bringing home a kitten is a joyous occasion. It's like a tiny, furry hurricane of energy and love has entered your life. Their little meows, playful pounces, and adorable antics fill your days with laughter. But along with the joy comes responsibility. Kittens need our care, patience, and guidance to grow into happy, well-adjusted cats. This is the story of Muffin, a tiny kitten who stole my heart from day 1. When Muffin first arrived, he was a bit scared and unsure. Everything was new to him, the sights, the sounds, even the smells, but with gentle reassurance and a warm, cozy bed, he soon started to relax. His big, curious eyes explored his new surroundings, and his tiny nose twitched with every new scent. I knew then that we were in for an amazing adventure together. The first few days are all about helping your kitten settle in. This means providing them with a safe and comfortable space where they can feel secure. A cozy bed, food and water bowls, and a litter box are essential. Kittens are naturally curious, so it's important to make sure your home is safe for them to explore. Put away any potential hazards like loose wires or toxic plants, and give them plenty of toys to keep them entertained. Remember, every kitten is unique and will adjust at their own pace. Some kittens are bold and adventurous, while others are more timid and cautious. The key is to be patient, understanding, and provide them with the love and support they need to thrive. In the next section, we'll delve into Muffin's first bath, an experience that was full of suds, purrs, and a whole lot of cuteness. Now let's talk about bath time. Some kittens love water, while others, well, not so much. Muffin definitely fell into the latter category. His first bath was an experience we both remember vividly, mostly because of the adorable little noises he made. Before we even got near the sink, Muffin seemed to sense something was up. He looked at me with those big, innocent eyes as if to say, "You wouldn't, would you?" But a bath was necessary, so I filled the sink with lukewarm water, never hot, and added a bit of gentle, kitten-safe shampoo. Holding Muffin securely but gently, I lowered him into the water. He let out a tiny squeak of surprise, but I kept talking to him in a soothing voice, reassuring him that everything was okay. With a soft sponge, I gently lathered him up, avoiding his eyes and ears. He actually started to purr a little as I rinsed him off, the warm water seemingly calming him down. After the bath, I wrapped Muffin in a big fluffy towel, we call it a towel burrito, and gently patted him dry. He looked like a tiny, adorable burrito, and I couldn't resist giving him a little kiss on the head. He purred louder and rubbed his face against the towel, enjoying the warmth and the attention. Once Muffin was settled and clean, it was time to introduce him to the great outdoors. Now I know what you're thinking. Kittens on leashes? Yes, you heard that right. Walking your cat can be a wonderful way to provide them with enrichment, exercise, and fresh air. Of course, it takes patience and training, but the rewards are well worth it. We started slowly, with short supervised sessions in the backyard. The first step was getting Muffin used to wearing a harness. We chose a lightweight, adjustable harness designed specifically for kittens. I let him sniff it, rub against it, and even gave him treats while he was wearing it so he'd associate it with positive experiences. Once Muffin was comfortable with the harness, we attached a lightweight leash and let him explore the backyard. At first, he was hesitant, unsure of what to make of the leash. He'd take a few steps, then stop and look back at me as if to say, "What is this thing attached to me?" But with gentle encouragement and lots of praise, he soon started to relax and explore. Remember, the key to successful leash training is to keep it positive and fun. Keep the walk short and rewarding, especially in the beginning. Let your kitten set the pace and explore their surroundings. With patience and consistency, you'll be surprised at how quickly your little adventurer embraces the world on a leash. Just like humans, kittens have their own unique ways of communicating. From meows and purrs to chirps and tail twitches, they use a combination of vocalizations and body language to tell us what they need and how they're feeling. Learning to understand your kitten's language is essential for building a strong and loving bond. Muffin, for instance, was a master of the chirp meow. It was this adorable sound he'd make, a combination of a chirp and a meow, whenever he wanted attention or a treat. He'd also rub his little head against my legs and purr like a tiny motor when he was happy and content. Of course, kittens also communicate through play. Playful bites and nips are all part of their way of exploring the world and testing boundaries. It's important to teach your kitten that biting and scratching humans is not acceptable behavior. If Muffin got a little too rough during playtime, I'd gently redirect his attention to his toys. Consistency is key when it comes to communication. Use the same words for commands like no, good, and come. Keep your tone consistent as well, using a calm and soothing voice even when you're correcting unwanted behavior. With patience and understanding, you'll soon be able to decipher your kitten's every... Hey there, fellow adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. For the past week, we've been on an amazing journey with this little furball Muffin. We've explored the wild world of kittenhood, from the first tentative steps to mastering the art of playtime. It's been a whirlwind. By day 7, it was time to slow things down. I learned that training isn't just about commands, it's about connection. So we did what Muffin loves best. We rested. You know how in the wild silence can be more powerful than any roar? Well, with kittens, it's the purr that speaks volumes. She curled up on my chest, eyes half closed, purring like a tiny motor. That sound, it told me she felt safe. And that's the biggest win of all. It's not always about the big flashy tricks. Sometimes, the most rewarding moments are the quiet ones. The ones where you can just feel the trust building between you. Now you might think kittens are all about non-stop energy, and you'd be right most of the time. But even these little bundles of fluff need their downtime. Just like us adventurers need to recharge after a long hike, kittens need space and downtime. That's when their brains quietly process everything they've learned. Imagine trying to absorb a whole new language, learn new skills, and explore a brand new environment all at the same time. It's exhausting. So give your kitten the gift of downtime. You'll be amazed at what they achieve with a little rest. Remember how skittish Muffin was at the beginning? Well, on day 7, something incredible happened. She even let me touch her paws gently, something she never allowed before. And you know what that tells me? It's a sign of trust. It's a sign that our bond is growing stronger. And guess what? That night she fell asleep right beside me. That's when I knew we weren't just trainer and trainee anymore, we were becoming friends. Chapter 4. Bonding is everything. You know, out in the wild, animals form incredible bonds. From wolf packs to prides of lions, it's that connection that allows them to thrive. And it's the same with our feline friends. Bonding is the heart of all training. It's about building trust, understanding, and a connection that goes beyond words. Chapter 5. Muffin's Milestones. So here's everything we achieved together in just 7 days. From learning her name to mastering the art of come, sit, and even a few playful pounces, Muffin has transformed right before our eyes. Remember how she used to bat at the feather wand like it was a fearsome beast? Now she's a pro, but more importantly, we've built a foundation of trust and understanding that will last a lifetime. Chapter 6. Your Kitten, Your Adventure. Remember, every kitten is unique, and every moment is a learning opportunity. Just like exploring a new ecosystem, getting to know your kitten is an adventure in itself. With a little love, patience, and play, you too can turn your tiny tornado into a purring partner. Trust me, the rewards are worth it. Chapter 7. Ready for more Muffin? So, fellow adventurers, what did you think of our journey with Muffin? We've shared some incredible moments, and I believe this little one has so much more to teach us. If you enjoyed Muffin's journey, hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you want a part 2 with fun tricks and advanced training. Outro until next time. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey of trust, rest, and bonding with Muffin. Remember, even the smallest creatures can teach us the biggest lessons about companionship and the power of connection. Keep exploring, keep discovering, and never underestimate the perfect bond you can share with your feline friend. Qais&Cartoons, where whiskers meet